All right, it's the weekend edition, Simply Bitcoin. We break down the news from Twitter, the daily fail, meme review, the software releases, websites by plebes, and today we've got a very special guest. He is a Bitcoin artist. He is the creator of and author of Bulltardia and the creator of the Bitcoin Voice project, Zayan. Dim, thank you so much for joining us on Simply Bitcoin. We're going to go right to the numbers and then catch up with you in a sec. Here we go. So we are currently at a block height of 676,567. Current Bitcoin price, 55,990. Chain rewrite days, 601. Total lightning capacity, 1,159.67. Bitcoin versus gold market cap, 9.29%. Sats per dollar, nice drop, 1,787. Still off that all-time high, though.
It's not Moscow time anymore.
Yeah, it's not Moscow time anymore.
It's not Moscow time, man. The price did a little uptick, right? We're back at 55, man. It's crazy consolidating at these levels. Okay, it's just nuts that it's just staying at these levels. But the number that stood out for me, Phil, was the chain rewrite days, bro. It's at 601 days. That's insane. That's crazy. Anyway, that represents. Yeah, that's expensive to attack Bitcoin. That's exactly right. But Phil, anyways, it's time for
the daily fail. All right, everyone. Today's daily fail. Scott Melker, the wolf of all streets. Anyways, Bitcoiners and shitcoiners, it's time to get along. We're all on the same team. No, we're not. Okay, this is where people come up with this complete bullshit, that we're toxic and that we're not inclusive or anything like that. Look, okay, at the end of the day, if you're shilling an affinity scam, if you're shilling not freaking Bitcoin and calling it Bitcoin or saying it's the next Bitcoin, then you're a scammer and you're full of shit. Okay? As long as you accept that about yourself, then that's perfectly fine. But you have to know that's what's really happening. So that's my take on that one.
And I completely agree, Phil. Look, Bitcoin toxicity saves you money. Okay, that's a fact, and if it hurts your feelings, okay, have fun staying poor. That's just the way it is, right? And, if some people don't want to accept that, that's fine. That's okay. But this whole thing about toxicity being bad, we have to be that way, right? There's no other way. But Dim, what do you think about this?
Well, so in the sense of, in the sense of the voice paper and showing that there is a community, I agree that we could include people from different backgrounds that have different views, as long as they recognize that Bitcoin is the standard. If you want to try other things, that's fine. But as long as you recognize that there's only one standard. Now, to say that simply everyone is at the same level and that, it's a big kumbaya, it's not reality, man. It's not truth. It can mislead a lot of newcomers into thinking that if you buy Cardano, it's the same thing as if you buy Bitcoin, and it's not. So if you want to make such statements, always make it within the right context. And this year has no context, so fail.
Yeah. Excellent analysis. Awesome,
yes,
Phil. Thank you, Phil. Excellent analysis. Phil, it's a perfect time for
the daily meme review.
All right, everybody. So this meme, I picked it because it was totally by accident. Once again, but I guess it coincides with the daily fail. But anyways, it's from the legendary Simply Bitcoin meme lord at @RD_BTC. Check this out. Always have been. Wait, they're all shit coins. Always have been. Excellent meme. Messaging is great. It is a little insider-ish, and because of that, I'm going to give it a used stock. What about you, Phil?
Wow. It's a very interesting score. I don't think we've seen used objects yet, but anyways, interesting. Yeah, I mean, look, that meme was totally hilarious, and I think it just, yes, it is insider-ish, but at the same time, it kind of makes you think. So I'm gonna go with cable stripper.
Wow.
Yeah.
Phenomenal meme. Dim, what are you going to give that meme?
Nice one, man. You put the bar really high. I think I'm going to give him a rubber eraser so that RD can erase all those horrible logos from his, But great meme. RD, as usual, it's a gauge of quality.
I agree, and I agree. Also, that watermark has to go away. But anyways, Phil, it's time for it.
The Daily News, sponsored by
Crypto Cloaks.
All right, everybody. Before we get into the headline, I just wanted to say this, Phil. We were right once again. We were speculating essentially that we suspected that a sovereign wealth fund or a country was going to put reserves into Bitcoin. We were speculating that like 2 or 3 days ago. This just came out. New Zealand fund manager puts 5% of retirement plans assets into Bitcoin. So it's just a matter of time. And we told you so. I wish I wore that sweater today. But anyways, Phil, what are your thoughts? And then we'll move on to our guest.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, really, look, that is just, to me, the big step is, again, when countries start to go and start to put their wealth into Bitcoin, this is just a huge blow to all the naysayers, to all the people that sit there and think that somehow governments are going to sit there and decide to stop Bitcoin. Remember, Bitcoin was created with perfect incentives, okay? So the governments are incentivized to hold it to gain value as well, okay? So this isn't going to be one of those things where all of a sudden, some small group of people decide that, oh, no, that's it. Nobody can have it and we're going to stop you. I'm not going to stop anything.
Yeah, I agree. You're not going to stop anything. And that's because exactly what you said. The incentives are too freaking strong. But anyways, Dim, what do you think about this? Man, this is very bullish. You come on very bullish news. You're coming on very bullish news.
I'm always excited about bullish news, as you can imagine. And at the same time, I'm not surprised. This is the type of news that we expect all as Bitcoiners because we know where it's going. And I know that there will be more of those. The real question is, what is the pace? How fast are we going to see more of those news? And it seems to me that the pace is increasing at a very, 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 very high rate. So I can't wait to see more of those news coming from different countries and validating the path that we all chose.
Absolutely. And sorry, Phil, go ahead.
Oh, no, I just wanted to add, okay, to what you're talking about, the rate of increase this week alone, right? Three ETFs were filed, okay, just off the top of my head, three Bitcoin ETFs were filed, and this news from New Zealand. I mean, this is just,
it's bullish, and it's bullish.
Wow.
And when Dim said that he essentially personifies being bullish, he really does. Check out his comic, Bulltardia. That's how bullish he is. He wrote a comic on how bullish he is. But anyways, speaking of Dim's artistry, we want to talk about today on the weekend edition, essentially Dim's way of fighting back against the CSW BS that was happening on Twitter 2 months ago. Just to give you guys a recap, essentially he started going after Bitcoin websites that were hosting the Bitcoin white paper, claiming, right, using BS laws in the UK, claiming that he owns the copyright to it, right? The Bitcoin community reacted, of course, because we are Legion, we are the internet, we attacked it, and Dim specifically made an awesome YouTube video, which I'm going to share the first 2 minutes of because it's a very long video.
Bitcoin
a peer-to-peer electronic cash system
by Satoshi Nakamoto.
Abstract.
A purely peer-to-peer version of electronic cash would allow online payments to be sent directly from one party to another without going through a financial institution.
Digital signatures provide part of the solution, but the main benefits are lost if a trusted third party is still required to prevent double spending.
I'm going to leave it on tone base, right? Unfortunately, guys, we can't play the whole video because it is 34 minutes, but we will link it down in the link description below. Definitely go check it out. But man, 180 Bitcoiners. Dim, what made you think of this? And what inspiration, like, where did you come up with this?
I want to say a few things, first of all, about the intent behind this. Yes, the context was the Craig Wright's attacks that happened at the same time, but the idea behind was happening even before that. And the real intent was really to show that there is not only strength and unity in the community, but also that, there's still this misconception that Bitcoiners are a bunch of crazy nerds and criminals. And, there's still this happening up to today. And I wanted really to show that we are really a bunch of normal people, normal, quote unquote, and that is really representative of, if you had to boil down the entire world and boil it down to what the rate of the Bitcoiners today is, just a fraction, the Bitcoiners would probably represent, I hope, this world community. And that's what I'm trying to showcase, that it's not just crazy tech people, it's really for everyone. And I hope the message has passed, because you see that there is the next generation that is being actually featured. There are kids in there. There are, of course, people that are coming from financial background. There are people coming from law. There are artists like myself. There are podcasters like you guys. There are miners. And, so you really have all kinds of backgrounds and industries that are represented. So that was really the reason why. And it turns out that, Craig came and started doing all these attacks on the white paper. So I thought it was the right time to do it. So that's part of it. And then the whole Bitcoin Voicepaper is part of a big project called the House of Was. We are all Satoshi, where I'm trying to explore the relationship between the individual and the Bitcoin, because, it's much more than just a piece of technology. It's much more than a currency. It's a symbol that dramatically transforms everybody's lives to the core. And so this is what I'm exploring with this piece. Sorry, man. Just to finish the first part. So the Bitcoin Voicepaper is about the community and Bitcoin. And the first part I'm actually doing, I'm memorizing the white paper and shouting it to the wilderness. So it's a communion between the individual and the white paper.
Man, it's much deeper than I thought. It's so much deeper. And man, Dim, I kind of want to talk about the macro sense. Why do you think I see this as like a historical moment? This video is going to survive decades, right? Mm-hmm. Why is it important that the community released a video like this?
Well, it's interesting, because when I actually throw that idea, it started by throwing the idea in a Telegram group, which I was part of, along with other Bitcoiners. It quickly caught, and I was actually surprised to see that so many people wanted to participate. And the 160 Bitcoiners that are part of it, they joined within a few days, and it grew completely organically. And that translated really a need for people to voice that unity and to show that they were part of it. So really, I didn't really make that much effort into making it happen. It was something that everybody wanted. And shout out to Richard James, who actually did the editing, to Daniel Prince, who helped getting people together, Sol Exporter, Stackmore, MTC, BTC. Other than that, everybody came together to actually help on this piece. So it was much more than my own creation.
Sorry, I had myself muted, but it reminded me of the Lightning Trust Chain. It was a completely decentralized phenomenon, right? And it was beautiful, man. It was exactly what you said. It was so hard to coordinate 108 people unless they want to do it, unless they really want to do it. And you see all these Bitcoiners coming together to make this happen. And that's so freaking powerful. Phil, do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I just have to say, Tone Vase's facial hair is so well sculpted. I couldn't stop. It's amazing that you stopped right at that part of the video, because I'm just like, I wish that I could do that with my facial hair. Okay, but besides the facial hair thing, of course, this was, I thought that this was one of the coolest ideas I ever saw. Of course, as soon as I saw you post that, I'm like, this is totally genius. And I love the way that it turned out. I've sent it to my parents. I've sent it to everybody that I can think of that I'm probably annoying with Bitcoin stuff. Yeah, and I just look. I think it's really cool, and the fact that it's organic. To me, I always, anytime anything like this takes place, I always think of Bitcoin's social layer. Because back in 2017, 2018, I would quite often see this argument that there is no social layer to Bitcoin. It's all individual incentives, and everybody just fucking hates each other but loves Bitcoin. But at the end of the day, even if that is true, people will come together on the point of Bitcoin and cooperate to make something that they both, that they all believe in. So I think it's fantastic. And I think that this is just more evidence of the Bitcoin social layer forming.
And on top of this, even if Bitcoin, essentially the most important thing about Bitcoin is the idea, Bitcoin wouldn't happen if there was no community behind. It's the community that creates the network effect, that strengthen the principles of decentralization. And that's why all the other shitcoin fail, because they don't have the network, they don't have the community. And that's why it's really important to show that this community exists. And so the voice paper is over, but I'm very, very proud that other parts of the community are actually picking up where it ended. So there is another version of the voice paper that is being actually currently created in Espanol, in Spanish, led by Joaquin Moreno, who has actually a BTC en Español channel, a podcast. So I'm very, very excited about seeing that it's not the end for the voice paper, that it's actually spreading out even further than it is right now.
Man, that is crazy. So they're going to do it in Spanish. This is going to continue. Wow. That is so inspiring, because you see so many people coming together, working in a decentralized fashion just to get one thing done. And it's so freaking awesome, man. And now we have a tool, which is Bitcoin, to continue fighting for those ideals that Bitcoin represents. But anyways, Phil, there was a software release today. Why don't you tell everybody about it?
Software releases. Looks like we've got Zeus version 0.5.1 that was released, and that is down below in the show notes.
Awesome. Thank you, Phil. All right, guys, that was our show. I want to give a shout out to the legendary Bitcoin artist, Dim Zayan. You can go follow him at CryptGM. I will put that down in the link description. Definitely go check out his art at dimzayan.com. And he's currently having an auction for the second Bulltardia. It's a book 1 limited edition. It's signed, numbered 42 through 210. Includes an original watermark plus ink drawing of Bitcoin through 25K to commemorate the Xmas 2020 breakout. Look, oh my God, Dim, say something so it switches to you.
So there's the book. Yes, there is an auction going on until Sunday, 8 p.m. UTC. And this is the original drawing. It's a watercolor and ink. And I started this drawing, believe it or not, back in Christmas 2020. I didn't finish it up until recently. Don't ask me why. I got caught up on other things. But that was to celebrate actually the break of the 25,000 mark. So here it is. If you want a piece of history, that's in auction on Sunday, until Sunday.
Yeah, guys. So when you see this video, which posts at 12 p.m. on Sunday, you're going to have 4 hours to bet on that. By the way, I'm the highest bidder right now at 1 million Satoshis, and I will outbid all of you. So definitely go and join the Telegram channel, the Bulltardia Telegram channel, which we'll also put down in the link description. And guys, if you enjoyed the show, you know what to do. Smash that like button. And if you love the show, if you want to hear the news from the Bitcoiners' perspective, definitely hit that subscribe button. And we will see you on Tuesday for another episode of Simply Bitcoin.